Some people have asked me about setting up Spooky2 because they guess they got confused, and I'm telling them just use the directions. But I'm going to just state what I personally do. This is not what is recommended by. Well, it's not a wrong setting, what I'm going to tell you, but it's what I personally am doing. It's not a wrong setting. This is not. If you have any doubts as how to set this up, go to the Spooky2.com website. But this is just what I personally am setting up. And what I'm doing is I am using both output channels remotely. And I am using bio-north. Even though this is the black foam, the bio-north of the magnetic south, is facing down on the DNA. Bio-north is synonymous with saying magnetic south. That was one of the confusions that cropped up about how the magnetic therapy people label things, but the opposite of what navigators and sailors would do on the high seas, but that's how they do it. So bio north or magnetic south negative is facing the DNA. Now what I do is I use a duty cycle of 78% on a square wave for the out one. Now the reason I use 78% is because it hits the second and third harmonic strongly. If you do the normal 50% duty cycle, you'll see it hits odd harmonics only. So 78% is what I like per se, because actually when you're getting up this far, it's not really making too much of a difference. It's really the main frequency to set, as you will lose amplitude as you go up in harmonics, so it's really the first, second, and third that are most important. But what I do, I like to run is the 78% duty cycle, 100% positive offset, 20 volts amplitude, square wave. Now, I like running this frequency set, abdominal inflammation. Now, a lot of people would like running that because they think, well, I don't want abdominal inflammation because I want a thinner waist. But if you look into the details on these frequencies and you look them up in the consolidated annotated frequency list as annotated there, you will find that these are about the most commonly used frequencies flat out. These are powerful antiviral frequencies, and also you have the frequencies used in pretty much every Rife set that's included out there. 880 is very common, 802, 787, 776, 727, 465, and 20. But also you have antifungal parasite type frequencies, 465, 440, 440, 444. It's a very, very powerful, all-comprehensive frequency set. And I've been running this 24 hours a day because by the time it gets back to here again, it's going to take a while. It's kind of you probably should set the dwell time to lower, but it's a little bit controversial on that because these new remotes are very much stronger than the old remotes. So I kept the dwell time standard. Now for the second channel, I run a sine wave, and I run 7.83 hertz, which is the Schumann Earth frequency. The Schumann Earth frequency actually is a sine wave. It's on a square wave, so that's how I run it. Now, you could run a square wave fine, but I'm doing it as I'm just telling you, this is what I personally am doing. And so to set this, so this channel comes out 7.83 hertz only. So that's one of the advantages of not using the boost in this case. Let me put it this way: the advantage of using the boost cable is you can run the 11th harmonic and spikes and mix the signals. That's one big advantage. But if you want to run a separate frequency on the second channel at the same time, that's the one advantage of running just two remotes. That's how I'm doing it. And 7.83 hertz is also something that will will allegedly keep you from having frequency fatigue, but it's also a natural thing where healing and regeneration in the body comes about from Earth's natural frequency. And the Earth's natural frequency is sine wave. Now, when I change the duty cycle here 78%, you notice out 2 changes 78%. But in the case of a sine wave, the sine wave there's no such thing as a 78% duty cycle sine wave. It's just going to be 50%, and that is exactly how it's going to come out. It's not going to come out like a different wave because I changed the duty cycle. Duty cycle only applies to square waves. So even though it changed both outputs, when I chose a sine wave on out 2, that'll be a 50%. So here we click it on, and I'm going to be running 100% positive offset on, excuse me, let me go back here, 100% positive offset on out 1 and 0% offset on out 2, just as the Earth does on out 2. That's what I'm attempting to do. So here we click it on, and you can hear the the remote humming or singing or whatever. This is the 7.83 sine wave running on this, no offset, and this is running 100% positive offset. So, but if you look at the consolidated annotated frequency list, for instance, if you look at 727, for instance, it's a very, very popular frequency because of all it covers. But that list called abdominal inflammation covers all, well, I can't say all, but pretty much everything that is the most commonly used frequencies. It covers a wide spectrum. So sometimes when you're looking at the names of these lists, they're a little bit deceptive. You're thinking, well, abdominal inflammation, but this really covers pretty much viruses, parasites, pretty much every damn thing out there. So it's a good one to run. That's what I am doing personally. It's not that this is per the book, but it's not incorrect either. So I just want to point this out here because some people had questions on setup. I can't actually give anything advice beyond that because I'm just kind of running this as a preventive maintenance type thing on myself, more or less, if you want to call it that. And I can't make any claims upon that either. That's really what the theory is, though. I just like that this one frequency set, which makes it simple, includes so much. And the only problem I think that could possibly be a problem that can arise from running too much of this is getting frequency fatigue. And I think I have that problem solved with running the Schumann Earth frequency in the background on the other remote on a sine wave. So I thought that was a cool setup. I don't know, not too many people do it that way, but and I'm not saying you should, but it's what I'm doing. So let me put it to you that way. Anyway, over now.